Hello, good day. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about the demand analysis. Demand analysis is one of the most important analyses in economics. The demand determines what exactly people are willing to buy and how much are they willing to pay for something. To understand the demand analysis, we need to look into that what exactly the demand is. There are many people who think that whatever desires we have or whatever wishes we make in our lives are our demands. However, whatever we wish in our life cannot be a demand. Only the desires that are backed by the willingness and ability to purchase can qualify as demand. Like, say, for example, if you are selling a Ferrari car, whom would you make a call to sell the car? You will only make the calls to those people who actually have the ability to buy the cars. And similarly, those people who are actually showing the willingness to buy the car. If you find anybody has got the ability but he has not got the willingness, you will not make a call to him. And similarly, if you have got like the other way around, like you will again not make the call. So demand answers like the question, say for example, if the price of a kilo of an apple is P, how many kilos of apples will be bought? Why do we do the demand analysis? There are many reasons that we do the demand analysis. Like say for example, the companies use it to determine the pricing of their goods. The government uses it to determine the taxes. The courts uses it to determine the monopoly power, that what exactly the price a monopoly is charging. Economists use it majorly to model markets and they try to determine the consumer behavior, that what exactly the consumers are willing to pay for something. Graphically, if you look at the demand analysis, there is a relationship between the price and quantity demand. If the price of any commodity increases according to the demand analysis, its quantity demand decreases. In the following minutes, we shall be looking at that why this demand curve slopes downwards. So far, if you look at the relationship between P and Q, at the P1, a person is determined demanding Q1. If the price goes up to P2, the quantity demand falls to Q2. The Q2 is less than Q1 because P2 is greater than P1. When the price goes up, the quantity demand goes down. What determines the demand? Along with the price, there are many factors that determine the demand, like say, for example, income. Income determines your ability to purchase things. The price of substitutes determine what exactly, how much exactly you depend on the product. If you don't have got any substitute available, you might be willing to buy something at a very high price. But if the substitutes are available and the cheaper substitutes are available, you generally switch on the substitutes whenever the price of something goes up. Similarly, the prices of complements, the things that you use together, like say for example, the cars and the petrol. If the price of petrol increases, the demand for the car decreases. Similarly, advertising, that how many much a company spends on advertising. Generally, the companies who spend more on their advertising actually expect more demand in the market. The population also plays a role. Like, say, for example, if there are more people living in your country, you actually expect more people to buy your goods. And similarly, the consumer expectations, what exactly consumers are expecting in the future. If they are thinking the prices are going to go up in the future, they actually increase the demand now. And if they are expecting the prices to go down in the future, they will reduce the demand now. Mathematically, if you look at this relationship, the quantity demand is a function of price of x. The quantity demand of x is a function of the price of x. Similarly, the quantity demand of x is also the function of price of y. This y could be a substitute or complement. It is also a function of m, which is the income of the individual. And age actually represents all other factors like, say, for example, age, religion, fashion, design, taste, whatever. Why demand curves actually are downward sloping? When the price of any commodity increases, that creates two kinds of effects on the demand of the products. The one effect is called the substitution effect. Generally, when the price of one good increases, the people switch on other products. The people substitute one good with the other. Like, say, for example, if the price of petrol increases, people switch on CNG. Similarly, if the price of tea increases, people switch on coffee, say, for example. And similarly, if the price of cola, if Coca-Cola increases, the people switch on Pepsi Cola, say, for example. So the change in the relative price, the price of one good relative to other price, causes the substitution effect. Similarly, when the income effect also plays a role. When the price of any commodity increases, you feel relatively cheap, relatively richer or relatively poor. Like say, for example, if the price of any commodity increases, you feel relatively poor. So when the price goes up, your real income, the ability to purchase things basically goes down, so you buy less. Similarly, when the price goes down, your ability to purchase things actually go up, so you buy more. So there are two kinds of effects that creates a downward sloping demand curve. The substitution effect, like say for example, when the price of petrol increases, people switch on CNG because people are reducing their demand because they are actually consuming more CNG, they are consuming more substitutes. Similarly, the income effect, like when the in price of any commodity increases, people feel more like richer or poor depending on the change in the price. So if the price goes up, then generally the people reduce the demand because they feel poorer. They actually have got less money available to purchase the goods. Now, if you look at the concepts that are related to demand, like say for example, we need to understand the difference between the quantity demand and the demand. The quantity demand actually shows the one particular point of the demand curve. For one particular price, the one particular quantity is called the quantity demanded, whereas the overall relationship is called the demand. And similarly, we need to understand the individual and market demand curves. The individual demand curve shows the demand of an individual, whereas the market curve shows the demand, sum of the demand of all the individuals. Technically speaking, the market demand curve is a horizontal sum of the individual's demand curve. Like, say, for example, if there is a market in which there are only two people, one person is willing to buy 3 kilos of something at price $5. Another person actually is willing to buy 6 kilos at the same price, $5. Overall market will have got a demand of 9 kilos for the price of $5. That is called the market demand. Thank you for joining us.